Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Check this out. The other day, Lil Wayne's son, Lil Novi, sat down to do an interview in which he shared his thoughts about what he thought about his father being considered one of the greatest rappers of all time. And he also shared his thoughts on which album is the best album that his father, Lil Wayne, has ever made. Watch this.
How does it feel when you hear people talk about your dad as one of the greatest rappers of all time? Do you agree? For surely I agree, but I'd be like, yeah, that's cool. I'd be like, yeah, that's hard. I don't want to say like tired of hearing it, but like if they talking about like some bull, like they talking about like some bull, yeah, like then I get tired of hearing it. But if it's just like giving props and it's cool, some kids they be like, oh, that's crazy, like how does it feel to wake up every day? I'd be like, bro, it's a regular, like I'm a human, like I'm just like y'all. What's your dad's top 3 best albums? Yeah, I'm gonna be so cooked for this question because it's just not my generation, bro. Like I was born in, like I listen to like kind of like his newer music. Like I don't really listen to like his old stuff, but I'll say like top 1 album, I'll say what's called the newest Carter, I think it's Carter 5 or something like that. But yeah, that was hard, like it was great.
Alright, so after Lil Novi was basically like, yeah, my dad's music is aight, it's not for my generation, but the last album that he made, which I think is called the Carter 5, that album was kinda hot. A whole lot of people came in the comment section, and one person was like, that's literally Lil Wayne without the tattoos. And then somebody else was like, where the F Reginae at? Cause he's not going hard enough about his daddy for me. And then somebody else was like, he's still too young to understand the importance of his pops. Listen, y'all gotta understand, this kid is still a teenager. As far as he's concerned, Lil Wayne is just the dude who gives him money, buys him sneakers, puts food on the table, and pays the rent. I mean, for real, your kids do not care about what you do for a living. I mean, think about it, really think about it. When was the last time your kid got mad excited because you got Employee of the Month? They don't care, and half of them don't even know what you do as a job. I mean, they just think that you leave the house, and then the money that they ask for magically appears. But you know what? Let me correct myself, because this willful childhood ignorance doesn't necessarily apply to all kids, because one child who seems to understand at a very early age that her last name carries a little weight is Blac Chyna and Rob Kardashian's daughter, Dream, because the other day Dream was on social media and somebody asked her a question about her and her cousins, and she made sure to point out that she, and she alone, is the only Kardashian in her generation. Watch this.
Prettiest Kardashian. Why am the only Kardashian kid?
Dream.
What? My dad's the only boy.
Okay.
No cat. Cat. There's no cat. Well, there's one right there. You look so cute. Yes, you are the only Kardashian. Yeah, someone said yes, I'm the only Kardashian. And a high five.
Now, after reminding everybody in the comment section to put a little respect on her last name, a whole lot of people had something to say. And one person was like, she heard that from an adult. That's all I'm gonna say about it. And then somebody else was like, they said prettiest Kardashian and she said only Kardashian kid, defended her cousins and flexed at the same time. And then somebody else was like, she is the only kid with Kardashian as her last name. She ate them all up. And then, last but not least, somebody else came through and was like, ain't nobody but Tokyo told her that. Listen, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, or Kris Jenner likes it or not, this kid ain't telling no lies. Cause Kim's kids are West, Kourtney's a Disick, and Khloe's daughter is a Thompson. So officially, Blac Chyna, aka Angela White, is the only person who gave birth to a child who officially has the last name Kardashian. And guess what? She should be able to rep her last name the same way that they done rep their last name for years. So nobody should have a problem with her pointing out that she is the only Kardashian of her generation. Now, of course, if later on Rob decides to go out and have some more kids, that'll change. But as of right now, it is what it is. Listen, let me know in the comment section below. Do you have a problem with Dream Kardashian pointing out that she is officially the only Kardashian of her generation? Let me know what you think about that in the comments, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Now, check this out. The other day, Cardi B jumped online to clap back at all of the people who have been online criticizing her for partying as much as she's been partying after she separated from Offset. Now, Cardi B says that y'all need to stop it with all the criticism because 1, partying doesn't equal hoeing, and 2, the type of partying that she's doing is actually good for her mental health and her sanity.
Because I feel like a lot of people been seeing me out, and like on the internet they having all like these type of mixed up opinions, like it's like, oh, she's always outside, she's finally happy to do, like she's finally happy that she's being a hoe, blah blah blah. And I hate when I feel like it's men that usually say that, like, oh, she's just being a hoe. And it's like, I'm not being a hoe, because after I leave the club, I take this wet ass pussy to my fucking bed with no dick to give it to. So I hate that. Like, I feel like me and my boy was talking about this. Like, it's like after you have like a breakup, like after you have a breakup, you have to you have to just live a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You can, if you're in the house, even if you work, like you could work and get that money, but it's like you overthink of your situation and overthink it, and it's like that might fry you again. Not only might that fry you, that might make you sad, that might depress you, that might make you do dumb decisions like hit up your ex or something like that. So it's like, you know, like I want to go out, like, and it's been a long time, and I hate that people be like, oh, you too old to be going out, you too old to be going out. Bitch, I'm in my fucking 30s, and it's like I worked my ass off, and I was put up for a whole 7 years. Like I need to live a little bit. I haven't, one of the reasons, not one of the reasons, but like when like all like those years that I was like, you know, whatever, I feel like I wasn't restricted necessarily. I wouldn't say I was necessarily restricted of going out. I really wasn't, but I was just so focused on like how the internet used to treat me and like how people used to like view me as. I was like, I was just like in a state that I didn't even notice that even when I felt like I wasn't depressed, I just wasn't being myself.
Listen, I agree with Cardi, and I don't see anything wrong with her going out and partying after she separated from her man. I mean, she's about 32 years old, she got married when she was 25, she's been married for 7 years, and your 20s and 30s are supposed to be your primary partying years. I mean, as long as her kids are being taken care of, both physically and emotionally, and she's putting a roof over their heads, paying the bills, and taking care of all her obligations, then I don't see not one problem with Cardi B going out and having a little fun and doing her thing now that she's single. I mean, really, for all of the people out there criticizing her, what do you expect her to do? Get a rocking chair, sit on her porch, and watch the grass grow? I mean, come on now. She's a millionaire in her 30s who's newly single. Let that woman live. Now, you may or may not notice, but Little Scrappy is also a couch psychologist. Because the other day, Little Scrappy jumped online to let all y'all women out there know that y'all need to let these men out here be fathers. Watch this.
Who gonna teach them babies how to be solid but they daddy? They mama? Be emotional person? Nah. You know what I'm saying? It's very rare that you have a solid, complete mom all the way around. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes a daddy too, but I'm telling you, you got to tap in and let the daddy do his thing, man. Them real good daddies watch the kids when they grow up. If they have a real good dad in their life or a good father figure in their life, watch a kid when he grow up. Guaranteed, girl or boy, they're gonna be on something. They're gonna be doing something great in their life. They're gonna have a balance. I'm telling you.
Okay, so after Little Scrappy jumped on the internet to offer his psychological expertise on family dynamics, a whole bunch of people responded to Scrappy. And one person was like, he just be yapping. And then somebody else was like, how you gonna be a good dad and not a good example? Not saying you can't make mistakes, but you never do better or learn from them. So what does that say? And then somebody else was like, okay, little yappy. Listen, I don't know what in the world Scrappy is talking about, because from my experience, most women yearn for their kids' fathers to be active participants in their children's lives. And most times, with a few exceptions, men consciously leave their children in the care of women because they don't want the woman, and they choose not to be present to nurture the seed that they dropped onto this earth. So, instead of directing his comments towards women who he feels aren't solid, Scrappy needs to refocus his energies and his comments to speak to the men who have no problem walking away from and staying away from their kids. I mean, for real, can we please stop blaming some women for the choices that some men have made? Because statistically, the amount of women who maliciously keep men from seeing their kids is minute compared to the amount of men who just willfully choose not to see their kids. Now, speaking about a father who really is looking out for his son, Jasmine Crockett recently did an interview in which she discussed President Joe Biden giving his son Hunter Biden a presidential pardon.
Well, I won't pretend to speak for the entire caucus, but I will say, way to go, Joe. Let me be the first one to congratulate the president for deciding to do this, because at the end of the day, we know that we have a 34-count convicted felon that is about to walk into the White House. So for anyone that wants to clutch their pearls now because he decided that he was going to pardon his son, I would say take a look in the mirror, because we also know that when it comes to this cabinet has more people accused of sexual assault than any incoming cabinet probably ever in the history of America. So we are living in unprecedented times, and we know that this was completely political. As someone who serves on the oversight committee, this was gamesmanship the entire time. And
Listen, I'm not a fan of Joe Biden giving his son Hunter the free pass, because it's just another example of how the elites can do whatever they want, and they can get away with stuff that would land the rest of us regular folks in jail. But with that being said, if you were the president and you had the power to pardon your child who was in trouble, like, who's not gonna pardon their kid? Listen, let me know in the comments, if you were the president of the United States and your kid was in hot water, would you give your kid the presidential pardon? Now, really quick, let's bring it back full circle to Lil Wayne, because the other day Cam Newton was doing his 4th and 1 podcast, and he started talking about the beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, and he was like, listen, Drake just didn't have it in him to end Kendrick, but maybe Wayne does. So, Cam Newton seemingly seems to be encouraging Lil Wayne to drop a diss track against Kendrick Lamar. Watch this.
I'm a fan of Drake. I'm not gonna give a backhand compliment, but after Kendrick in this beef, I look at Drake different. I don't think Drake has it in him to go to the places that he needs to go to attack Kendrick properly. He won't be able to do that with Dwayne Carter. For the appreciation of the art. Cause Drake ain't capable. I wanna see Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne is this Lil Wayne?
Wake that motherfucker up! You gonna let this motherfucker come into your motherfucking city on motherfucking February and you ain't gonna drop nothing?
Oh my goodness, why is Cam Newton over there instigating? What Cam needs to do is go to the store and find himself some more chaps and another top hat. Anyhow, I think that instigating beef between Wayne and Kendrick is a horrible idea, because one, a back and forth between Kendrick and Wayne isn't going to be the same as a back and forth between Kendrick and Drake, because Kendrick really doesn't cuff with Drake and Drake really doesn't cuff with Kendrick. So that was 100% authentic, organic beef that rose out of the streets and made its way onto some beats. However, on the other hand, Kendrick respects Wayne, and despite everything that happened with the NFL choosing Kendrick for the halftime show, Wayne seems to respect Kendrick. So, there really isn't any reason for these two to go back and forth. And furthermore, if they were to drop diss tracks on each other, all that's gonna equal up to is mutually assured destruction. It's a no-win situation. Now, should Lil Wayne drop some heat right before the Super Bowl? Hell yeah. But should that heat be directed at Kendrick Lamar? Hell no. And it turns out that I'm not the only person who thinks so, because somebody else came in the comment section and they were like, Wayne wants to keep his career. He's not trying to go down like Aubrey, so no, definitely should not poke the bear called K-Dot. Can you imagine the stuff he'll dig up on Wayne and Birdman to put on his diss track? It would totally end Wheezy. And then somebody else was like, Wayne dissed people before. It wasn't that great. He's not really a battle rapper. And then after that, somebody else was like, for what? Kendrick didn't even diss him. Listen, let me know down below. What do y'all think about Cam Newton urging Lil Wayne to drop a diss track on Kendrick Lamar? Do you think that that's a very smart idea? Let me know what y'all think about Cam Newton's bright idea in the comments. And really quick, let me ask y'all this. If Air Force Ones and Timberlands are synonymous with New York, and Chuck Taylors, aka Converse All-Stars, are synonymous with the West, what sneaker represents the South? Listen, if you know, please let me know down below. Alright, so check this out. The other day, Orlando Brown was on the Shay Frost Forestation podcast, and while he was there, Orlando Brown decided that he was going to expose the real reason why Mariah Carey left Nick Cannon. According to Orlando, the reason why Mariah called it quits when it comes to Nick is because during their marriage, Mariah found out that Nick was over there having sex with him. Watch this.
You just heard my shit, Orlando, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown.
Nick, you sucked my
Now, after Orlando Brown jumped on the Deforestation podcast and said that, Nick Cannon decided that he was going to respond. And Nick jumped online and he wrote, laughing crying face emoji. Man, I love this brother Orlando. Sincerely, I believe this young man is brilliant and beyond talented. It hurts me to see him crash out like this. And truly, disappointed in all of these media outlets who continue to exploit him. Alright, so after Nick Cannon said that, a whole bunch of people came in the comments to respond to Nick's comments. And one person said, Nick's response was perfect. Y'all wanted drama, but Nick got 50-11 jobs so he can feed his 50-11 kids. And then somebody else was like, agreed. And then after that, somebody else came through and said, I'm sorry, he's hilarious. See, I guess I'm different because I'm never gonna normalize crazy, and watching somebody who has a mental illness crash out on YouTube over and over again on different people's channels is not enjoyable to me. And I think that Nick Cannon is absolutely right when he says that a lot of these YouTubers are actually exploiting Orlando Brown, because once they get their money, they're not thinking about him anymore, and none of them are helping this dude get any help. Now, sometimes people who have mental illnesses actually say things that are absolutely hilarious and make you want to laugh. But the question is this: by laughing at Orlando Brown when he is visibly going through a state of cognitive and emotional dysfunction online, are we actually helping a brother out, or are we simply helping Orlando Brown sink deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into a sunken place? Listen, let me know what you think about all of the stories that we covered in the comments. And while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Peace.